I've just been told that you didn't hear anything I said there, which is great. So so thank you, Sophia, for letting me know. Amazing, amazing. Lovely to see you all. Thank you so much for joining me today. I actually just I think it might have happened again. Oh no. I actually just told you the secrets of the universe, but I was on mute, so we'll have to wait for next month before I share that insight again. But on today's session, as you know, if you've coming back on the regular, this is one of my favorite days of the month because it's the time where I get to spend a little bit of time with you to share what has been happening on our Waybook on Waybook team, what updates have been happening, and how that impacts you, your Waybook account, and how you can centralize the knowledge more effectively within your team. So how this call goes, if you've not been on one of these before, is I basically click through some of the updates and we can share how you can utilize that. But I love to hear from you. So Isabel, Alana, already great to say hello. If you've not said hello yet, please feel free to message in the chat, say hello, where you're calling from, what you do. I can see lots of friendly faces and names on the attendee list today. So welcome back. And the other ways that you can get involved today are to message any questions you might have on the Q&A, and we might have a few polls going out your way as well. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road and have a little look at some of the fundamental updates and improvements that have been happening across Waybook in the last month. So let's do this. Today we're going to cover the fundamental changes, which is the ability to reset individual progress. We have the big release of internal templates that we haven't officially launched yet, but it's one of those features that people have used a huge amount before people are even meant to know about it. So I'm really excited to make sure everybody else knows. We then have quite a lot of updates when it comes to integrations. So new integrations, optimizations of existing integrations, and also we have a feature that I'm so excited about. It is an inline AI-powered content optimizer that hasn't been launched. And I kid you not, I had to have a full negotiation with the team this morning in order for me to share this. So it's one of those things that if you've come before, you do know that I share things before I'm generally allowed to or before they're fully ready. But this is something that is finishing internal testing and going out to beta users, many of you in the room, next week. So I cannot wait to share with you these fundamental updates. So hello to everyone, Greer, Alana, Tony, Isabel, Abigail. It's great to see you all here. Yeah, Kathy, we've got loads of great people on the call today, so thanks for coming back. Right, let's dive straight into it by looking at the ability to reset individual progress. Now, this actually came as not a massive request, but the more we've spoken to people using Waybook, the more we've realized that it's one of those things that people would have loved to have done, but almost just get used to the fact that you can't do it. So let me tell you what it is. The reason why we thought this, looking at this was important is because often when you've onboarded someone or you're training someone, they've kind of been through the content, they've understood that information, and even if they've kind of answered those questions and they've confirmed back to you that they have the knowledge, sometimes they need a refresher. And that refresher is often taken by them by searching and re-looking at documents or using Waybook Ask. But sometimes you, as the knowledge owner or the operations manager or the CEO or whatever you are, can kind of get that sense that somebody just needs that refresher. So instead of sending it to them and not knowing if they have or haven't seen it again, now in Waybook, what you can do is you can just simply reset the progress on an individual, or you can reset the individual document progress for that person as well. So it feels like a small change, but actually it really enables you to almost have a whole new use case for Waybook to make sure that you have an extra layer of control to make sure people know what they're doing and have that information in front of them. So the way you do this is actually available in all accounts. It's available and out now, and you actually access this via reports. So I'm actually just going to click in and give you a bit of a look on how you can do that. So as you know, I can jump into this document As a reader, I'll get myself up to speed. Now I will complete this document so we can see the reset. And there's two different ways that you can do this. So as a reader already, readers can reset their own progress. So clicking this reset here will actually reset that whole document, reset the tests, and reset the steps. Now, that's a really useful thing to have for you if you're going through things multiple times. But what we also have from a compliance perspective in reports is the ability to see when somebody completed that document and also when they first completed that test and when they last completed that test. So if you've got somebody who's trying to say to you that they've not seen it before, you'll also know that within your reports. But if we jump into reports and actually we look on the report builder, we can look at that individual document. So let's go into that purpose and background, and we'll see all of the people who have and haven't completed it. So obviously I've just completed that there. And on that individual, we can reset that progress for that person. So you'll see here that Mike is now down to that 0%. I will now get, as a reader, get a notification that says you've got a document that needs re-reviewing. You go back through and you can get yourself back up to speed. So we've accessed this based on the document view, but you can also access that based on the person view. So it depends on if you're coming at this from there's a process that isn't quite working. So let me just reset it for people. But if you've got a person that's not quite working, you can also do that. So let's look at our Angela here. Angela is made up, so I feel okay to say that she's underperforming. She doesn't seem to know what she's doing because she's not real. And we can say, look, Angela, you know the account stuff, but you last viewed it a year ago. That's not good. We're not happy with that. So let's just reset that for Angela. So again, you can access this from the document view or from the person view, and you've got how often they've looked at it, when they last looked at it, what their current progress is, in order for you to be able to prompt them and get them back up to speed. Kathy, you love it. I love that you love it. Thank you so much. Right, let's now move on to. I seem. Okay. I seem to be having some audio issues today. So if I'm just miming, please let me know in the chat, and I will not mime. Okay, so let's jump back into the next thing that we're going to be releasing today. And as we mentioned, that is, of course, internal templates. Now, internal templates is a really exciting one. I've already used it a huge amount internally, and it's one of those things that I thought, how did we survive without it? Essentially, what internal templates enable us to do, the reason why we thought it was important, is because we spend a lot of time creating a good structure for our Waybook, identifying what really good information looks like. But we end up getting to this position where we ultimately don't quite know what our knowledge looks like. And as we're sharing that out with our team, we essentially delegate the responsibility for the creation of new content. But as we create that new content, sometimes we just lose that information, or we don't quite know where that consistency comes from. So what internal templates enables you to do is to specify really clearly, not just the structure of your Waybook, but what great looks like from a document, what a great policy, a great procedure, and a great knowledge document looks like. You can then essentially turn any of your documents into an internal template. And as more of your team might create or edit new documentation, they can utilize your existing internal templates rather than starting from scratch and perhaps ending up with more kind of chaos in your knowledge and different levels of quality across your Waybook. So this is available in all of your accounts. It's already turned on. It's already accessible for you. So let's have a quick look, and we'll have a little look at how you can actually do that. So just jumping back in. Now, using internal templates, what we normally say is look at the different types of content that you're sharing within your Waybook. I alluded to it earlier, but typically we normally see three different types of content. That is an information piece of a documentation. So that might be the purpose and background or the company history, which largely has a mix of videos and checklists and information and tests and things like that. We then also have a series of procedures. And that procedure might be something like how we do lead generation. So it might share the purpose, the fundamental steps, the actions to take, and the review. And then, of course, we might have policies. So a policy will almost be the background information, the steps, the fundamentals, and the agreement or acceptance at the bottom of it. Now, even though they're all a Waybook document and they use the same elements, how you construct that, the elements you want within that, and that consistency will be different for each one of those. So let me just start with a normal template. So I'll actually jump into here and I'll utilize the Waybook standard SOP template. So you see here that we can pull this and let's edit this for us as Studio 6, this made up business. Let's edit what good looks like. So we want a scope, we want the responsibilities, we want the steps within the process. Yes, we want an image, we want a video. But let's say actually we obviously don't need changelog and the archiving process. So we'll kind of keep this here. As soon as we are happy with what this looks like and what that information is, we can essentially then say, do you know what? I'm ready for this to be our SOP. So let's say Studio 6 SOP. Now I can publish that as a document. Now you can create this for the purpose of a template, or you can look at your best documents and say, I want to create a template from that. Once you're on the document, you head into Manage, Templates and Sharing, and you click Convert to a template. Now, when you're converting to a template, you basically have two options. One of them is to convert that existing document into a template. It's a different type of document, a different type of file. Now, what that does mean is that it will no longer be a live document on your site. So you don't want to take away a piece of knowledge that is in your kind of utilized Waybook. So if that is the case, where you are converting from an existing document to make a template, you can just keep this maintain an existing document on. You then can basically choose where you want to put this. So we'll put this in this building your Waybook internal templates, and I can now convert that into a template. What you'll notice is the original file will still be there because we've created a new document from it. But you'll notice at this bottom bit here, we've got a new template. It's got this template tag on it. In reader mode, and I'll toggle over into reader mode, you don't see templates because we don't want our readers to see those templates. And if we want to make that accessible to our editors, as soon as they hit the template library, that will now be at the top of your template library. So you can, of course, see all of our other templates, but you'll have a special category for just internal templates, and you'll be able to identify those core templates, which you then can create new documents from, and of course, decide where that goes. So that is a way of being able to make sure that you can have the perfect SOP policy procedure for your business and just keep that really clear and consistent as you continue to create new content. So that is numero 2. That is your internal templates. Heading into the third of our 4 updates that we're sharing with you today, we have our integration updates. Now, many of you know that Waybook integrates with your team in lots of different ways. One of my favorite integrations is the Slack integration, or if you're on Teams, it's the very similar, which essentially means anytime somebody asks me a question that should be asked to Waybook, I can just /Waybook, search for the keyword, and it will pull up my Waybook search within that chat, and I can just share that document with them. So personally, that's my favorite integration. But over the last few months, we've been adding a lot stronger ability on how we can integrate Waybook with all of your other tools, all of your other tech stacks. Now, the reason why we do that is because ultimately we just want you to be able to improve that access, that control and connection with your other tools to really make sure that Waybook can continue to become your single source of truth. So whilst we've always had the integration with Zapier over the last couple of years, now you have the ability to create and update new users, new accounts, make big amendments and changes dependent on what people do on those different forms. So the opportunities here for you to connect and control various different things within and outside of your Waybook almost are entirely endless. And if you're looking for more great use cases, then you can actually head over to your team settings. And via the Zapier connection, you can start to see what's possible with all of the other tools that you use. We're talking about things like once you've completed a certain subject, you can send that person a gift, or you can send them a certificate, or if somebody's added into your HR system, into Bamboo HR, for example, they can be added into your Waybook. So there's lots of other things that are possible. It's almost hard to show you what's possible because there's so much. But we would love to hear from you what integrations you've made available and how that's worked and saved you time and energy. Or, of course, if you've got any other things that you would like to be able to do, we also love hearing from that. So let's move on to probably the one I've been most excited about today. Internal templates is a close second, I must say. But the final thing I wanted to share with you today is our AI content optimization. Now, the regulars amongst you will know that I just love. I'm a bit lazy. I'll start there. I'm a bit lazy. I love things being systemized, organized, structured. I love it when people know what they're doing. I love it when people are kind of having that clear and consistent view. But sometimes running the business and doing everything, it's hard work to do it. So as you've already felt within Waybook, we just have AI support, template support wherever you go. My favorites are the structure creator, the document builder, the AI test creator. And we've taken it that one step further, essentially making sure that you can now edit, optimize, and improve your content utilizing AI within each of your individual documents. So what you can do now, in order to make sure that that ease of creation is and staying consistent is there, you can essentially look at any of your documents. And as you're doing a review of that, you can have the full power of Waybook AI on the specific piece of information. So I told you I had to negotiate to show this with you today because it's almost not ready. We're on that line, ladies and gentlemen, but it will be available in beta next week. It's just coming out of internal testing, and we will be launching this to all accounts in April. So let me show you what it does, what it's capable, and we'll go from there. Fair warning, fair warning. This is internal level, so we'll see what it goes. That's what you get when you come to these sessions. So you'll notice here I'm able to do all of the great stuff you can do on Waybook, the AI test generator, things like that. But let's say, for example, we want to start editing some of our content. So I can now highlight this. This is our little AI brain, and we can then do all of our different actions within that. So we can do our spelling and grammar. But the great thing here is, say, for example, we wanted to get an expanded version of the vision, you just expand the text. And Waybook will understand the context of that. It will understand what we're looking for in terms of that expansion, and then it will create us an alternative version of that text that will be an expanded version of that vision. Now, of course, we're not going to change our company vision and mission based on what the AI told us, but if you imagine that that is actually a core instruction within a procedure or a bit more context on how to do something, Waybook AI will essentially instantly turn that into more information, more comprehensive understanding. If, for example, we wanted to do something a little bit different, so let's take Emily's kind of bio here, we can actually turn that into a professional tone. So you can actually change a tone that makes your documents consistent moving forward. So here is rewriting that content based on what we want it to do. Now, spoiler alert, this is something that you'll probably see in April, but one thing we're also working on is building up a set of settings that you create for your Waybook. So any of your editors can convert any of that content into your company's tone, into your company's voice. So it basically enables you to not only use the templates, but people can write, people can be rough, and then ultimately you can then turn that into really clear and consistent information. So let's have one other example. So let's say example coffee. We can actually do a quick process of making a cup of coffee, boiling water, adding milk, adding coffee. Let's be bad and see how good it can be. Kind of serve hot. Right, so let's now turn this into a process. So imagine if you're just dumping lots of thoughts in there, you know loosely how things need to work and what they can be done, but actually you just want to structure that thinking a little bit more. Oh, there we go. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've hit the internal testing. I told you it might be there. But essentially it will take that knowledge, it will understand that context, and it will turn that into bullet point processes. So here we are: boil the kettle or the pot, add desired amount of milk to a cup and mug, add the amount of coffee grounds. Now, look, we're an international bunch here, so I don't know if you're putting milk in before your coffee grounds or coffee grounds in before your milk, but this is what the AI has said based on the information that I put in there. But hopefully this gives you an understanding of what the power can be within this. We also have within this ability for us to actually really extend the value of AI within your Waybook. So say, for example, we want to just edit this. You actually have a free text box for you to be able to do that. So we can actually say translate into French. Anything that you would like to do within that, Waybook will be able to support you in order to create that content more effectively. So here we've converted this into French, and all of that power is within your Waybook editor coming to you if you're a beta tester next week. If not, let us know, we'll get you on the beta list. And if you're not, once all of those kinks are ironed out, it will be in your account by the end of the month as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, that actually brings me quite efficiently towards the end of today's session. So thank you so much. Christina, you've got a hand up. So if you've got any thoughts or questions, please put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A. And if you've got any other thoughts, please keep those questions coming. In the meantime, let me just share with you, whilst I'm waiting for those questions, what the kind of next things are that you can expect. So we have more AI content optimizations coming your way. So that essentially is a few bits that I've mentioned, your company style, which you can do, and lots of other things. We're still doing optimizations on the iOS app, including notifications. And we're doing a big project here when you essentially have your improved team permissions. Now, the other thing that we're working on, and we'd love to hear your thoughts, is the ability to have Waybook notes. So we know that when you're creating a document, sometimes it feels a bit committal. And sometimes when I'm trying to turn this chaos into clarity, I just need to get information out there and then slowly turn that into a really refined knowledge, procedure, process, or document. And Waybook Notes is going to be that staging area of information in order for us to go to as well. So that's what's coming up in the next month. And Christina, you've asked your question. So if you've got any other thoughts, any other questions, please put them into the Q&A or into the chat, and I'll just address those now. Christina, you said when creating a template, why does it duplicate under the content? That's a very good question. So the difference is that you can ultimately have a document and a template. So that's designed that if you want this document and you still want this document to be a live document within your Waybook, when you're creating it, you want to keep this maintain existing document on. If you only want to turn that into a template, you turn that off and it will turn that original document into the template. To the point about why does it duplicate under the content, those templates need to live somewhere, and they will live wherever you choose to put them within the Waybook. We saw some people like to keep the templates linked to the procedures or the types of content. Personally, I like to have another subject, which is internal templates, and you can actually then just choose where you put that template in. So you'll see it's removed it from there, and it's put that template into that location where I wanted it to go. So I hope that answers your questions. Can you have the ability to edit the template categories? You have the internal structures wherever you choose to put them. Absolutely, you can edit that. In terms of the template library, all of these templates are always available to you. And as you know, we're continuing to add new templates. but the internal template library is one library for your internal templates. So you can't edit that. That's essentially where it would be. But if you've got a specific request on that, Christina, please do let us know. As you know, anytime we're putting this stuff into your Waybook account, we love to know how it looks, feels, and what additional value you want from it. So Christina, you said you want the document live and the template in the template section. Absolutely. So you will use that document. And once again, you'll go into the template library, convert into template, but maintain that existing document. So now it will duplicate into there, and I can actually choose where I put that. So I'll put that down into that template library. So that's the original content, and the template that I created from it is down in that other folder I was storing it in. So does that answer your questions? And I'm seeing not many other or not any other questions from anybody else. So and looking around the last few seconds. Okay, well, look, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much all once again for coming to our product Waybook update, Waybook product updates. I really look forward to seeing you next month. And if you've got any other thoughts, questions, things you'd like to share with us, you know, we're always all ears. Thanks for bearing with me with the microphone issues today, but I look forward to seeing you right here again next month. And we'll continue to help you get your business on the same page. Thanks so much and have a great one. Take care now.